Yes, I am an old head, so I have a high regards for Tim Curry's 1990s It miniseries. 9 times out of 10, I'm going to choose it over Bill Skarsgård. But that's not discrediting the 2 new movies whatsoever. I think they're phenomenal. And as much as I love Tim Curry, the 90s nostalgic of It, and the entire spookiness of it, there's one scene in the new It chapter movies that I find to be very harrowing, that stands tall above most parts of the miniseries and the new movies, that truly is terrifying. So I want to talk about that. What up, y'all? Welcome back to Phantom of the Indie Review. I am your host, Dill. Like Bill, get it? We are on the journey of 4,000 subscribers by the end of November. So if you like talking nostalgia, remakes, reboots, motherfucking Vietnamese Broadway performances of your favorite horror movies, come hang out and give me a subby. So yeah, there's one important scene in It Chapter 2 specifically that I love to talk about. In my humble opinion, a lot of people agree that the scariest part in not only the It miniseries, but also the new movies is the first parts that focus on the kids. Because, you know, kids are vulnerable, they have wild imaginations, they're more prone to be antagonized than a bunch of adults are. Don't get me wrong, in both renditions, the actors they chose give phenomenal performances. From the It miniseries, they got a lot of illustrious, well-known TV stars of the time, and then the new movie had not only great actors like Bill Hader and Jessica Chastain, but even up-and-coming actors that did their great part, like James Ransone from the Sinister movies. I love that guy, he's so funny. But there's one scene in It Chapter 2 specifically that I feel like they did well, and that is translating the emotion and story of Bill and his remorse and regret of losing Georgie. Yes, it is very pivotal in the 90s miniseries how much the remorse Bill has. Richard Thomas does a jaw-dropping performance for the 90s. I really fell in love with that interpretation of Bill. Same with the young child, played by iconic child star Jonathan Brandis, who tragically passed away at a young age. But in the new movie, the performance given by James McAvoy is just outstanding. Say what you want about McAvoy, he's one of the greatest actors of our generation, from his performances in Split, Atonement, even all the way to the new Speak No Evil remake. But yeah, the scene in hand I'm trying to get at is the scene where Bill is biking down the road, getting that old nostalgic, fun, vibrant moment when he finds his old childhood bike. And the second they get to Derry, after all the turmoil and memories of regret they had, this is a one key little moment where Bill kind of gets to have some time to himself, remember the good times and have a great time, but then somehow, subconsciously, stumbles down the street in which he used to live on, the old house he lived at where Georgie was fatally killed. And dare I say, a lot of people agree, that as effective and iconic as the opening scene of Georgie getting killed in the 90s miniseries is, the 2017 one is just so much more graphic. But this scene, Bill is biking down the road when he stumbles into the old house and sees the sewer drain and is hit with a flashback, a nauseating punch to the gut of regret and memories, and he's just so terrified. And the scene that I feel like, the 2 little scenes I want to talk about is A, the conversation he has with It when he stares into the drain and essentially begs for It to talk. He's like, why are you doing this to me? What did I ever do wrong to you? And then It casually says in a very sardonic tone, I only attacked Georgie because you weren't there. Because with all that grief and trauma and past hatefulness, he locked away in himself so much so that he forgot, like anyone else could be like, well, it's not your fault, you were just a kid, you didn't know better. So for this evil entity to throw that in his face, being like, your brother only got killed because you pretended to be sick, you didn't go outside with him, that's very devastating and creepy. And then B, the scene where he goes down into the basement and he sees Georgie reincarnated essentially as like this little zombie creature, zombie-esque Georgie, and that's very disturbing and dark too, because the one thing that the It miniseries doesn't really do is, yeah, they play around with Georgie coming back and being a little belligerent little creep, but it's not as effective and heart-aching as it is for James McAvoy in the remake. And then also there's that redemption story too, where Bill keeps running into that little kid and he has to go to the carnival to save the kid too, to try to make amends for what had happened to Georgie. And I feel like it ties together beautifully. Don't get me wrong, for nostalgic sake, I really do love the 1990s It miniseries, but the whole entire Chapter 1 and Chapter 2 remakes are phenomenal. Andreas Muschietti did a great job. I'm not a huge fan of his CGI effects, but his storytelling was brilliant. The lore was there, and there's just so much to this movie to like. But the biggest thing that creeped me out was the fact that he kept having this deep-seated hatred towards himself, and Pennywise kept instigating it by taunting him, by showing him Georgie in the basement, by even killing that kid inside of the amusement park to be like, you can't stop me. It really shows how sick and twisted Pennywise can be, because as creepy and fun-loving and eerie the Tim Curry one was, he wasn't quite as dark and tormenting as the Bill Skarsgård one. I give Bill Skarsgård his flowers for that great performance. But yeah, do you guys want to see more content from the It miniseries to It Chapter 1 and 2? Comment down below and let me know. Name a specific scene you want to see, because I can think of a lot. Which one do you prefer more? Is Tim Curry your boy, or is Bill Skarsgård your go? I would love to know. But thank you guys so much for watching. So please subscribe, give me a thumber, hit that ding button, harass you, telling you hey, it's me. I'm here, and I'm gonna say it one time for the one time and two times for the O's. Give me a hell yeah for horror.